Hello, my name is Marc-Andre Baucher. I am a wildlife biologist and the head of conservation programs at the Creston Valley Wildlife Management Area in Creston, British Columbia. The following video is a summary of the activities we conducted in 2024 in the Creston Valley for the Kootenay Connect project, funded through Environment and Climate Change Canada's community-nominated Priority Places for Species at Risk and facilitated by the Kootenay Conservation Program. We completed two main projects in the past year to enhance habitat for species at risk. The first project consisted of building an artificial nesting structure for barn swallows to provide additional nesting opportunities for this threatened species, which is listed on Schedule 1 of the Federal Species at Risk Act. Old barns and wooden structures that would have provided nesting spaces for barn swallows keep being taken down in the valley, often for safety reasons, and are not always replaced with suitable structures to house barn swallows. A barn-like structure was erected in the southern section of the Duck Lake nesting area, along the Duck Lake connectivity corridor, where several projects were implemented in the past 5 years as part of the Kootenay Connect project. The construction project began at the end of October 2024 and was completed by mid-November. The artificial nesting structure is built entirely out of wood and covered by a metal roof and was modeled after CVWMA's very successful Barn Swallow Hotel that was constructed in the fall of 2018 in Corn Creek Marsh, just south of Highway 3 on the west side of the Creston Valley. The Duck Lake nesting area structure is 24 feet wide by 30 feet long and approximately 720 square feet in size, and is 67% larger than the Corn Creek Marsh structure, which has a 432 square feet footprint. This new larger nesting structure has more nesting compartments on the ceiling and should accommodate a large number of breeding pairs over time. The interior of the Swallow Hotel in Corn Creek Marsh, which contains 4D nesting ceiling compartments, accommodated 19 pairs during the 2024 breeding season. We are hoping that the 60-plus nesting compartments in the new structure will accommodate upwards of 40 pairs in the future. The roof on this new structure is insulated to reduce heat transfer to the ceiling nesting compartments, as data collected in past years in the Swallow Hotel showed temperatures reaching above 35 degrees Celsius through the summer months. Each nesting structure is equipped with artificial wooden nest cups that were built and installed within the ceiling nesting compartment to stimulate barn swallow to nest. Each structure also offers many ledges onto which barn swallow can construct natural nests, though the swallow have been truly enjoying the wooden nest cups that were installed in the Swallow Hotel. Barn swallows are known to check potential nesting sites ahead of the next breeding season in late summer before they migrate south, so we are not expecting the new structure to be necessarily occupied during the 2025 breeding season. The long-term goal of this project is to increase the number of barn swallows to help reduce the overall decline of aerial insectivorous species locally, while contributing to the overall biodiversity of the Creston Valley. And beside the aesthetic and intrinsic value they provide to our environment, barn swallows play an important role in controlling insects and cycling nutrients. They can assist in pollination and are key indicators of our ecosystem health. The Duck Lake nesting area nesting structure will be monitored weekly for nesting activity during the 2025 breeding season. 2 temperature humidity data loggers will also be installed in 2 of the ceiling compartments to monitor environmental conditions inside the structure during that period. Trail cams may also be mounted within the structure to document wildlife activity during the breeding season. Signage will be installed in the structure to inform the public about the structure and ask people to refrain from entering the structure between May and August annually. The nesting structure was built by CC Construction, a local contractor who also built the Swallow Hotel in 2018. The wooden nest cups for this new structure were fabricated by Paul, a local carpenter at Paul's Country Woodshop. The second project we conducted entailed enhancing dry slope habitat for western skinks, rubber boas, and common nighthawks, primarily, while also lessening wildfire risk through hand brushing and thinning over an area of approximately 15 hectares surrounding the Creston Valley Wildlife Management Area Administration Office Building, west of Creston, BC. Habitat succession and fire suppression over the years have led to woody vegetation encroachment and resulted in less suitable reptile habitat on rocky slopes and talus that were historically more open. These two images of the area surrounding the CVWME administration building, taken from Highway 3 below on December 10, 1971 and November 12, 2024, show the change in forest cover over the past 50 years. In months prior to the beginning of the brushing and thinning work that began in mid-December 2024, CVWME hired Harrier aerial surveys to fly the project area with a drone and produce a high-resolution geo-referenced image to use as a baseline vegetation cover map. An archaeological overview assessment was also completed for the project area by Wayne Choquette, a local independent archaeologist. Rocky Mountain junipers are abundant throughout the project site and were identified as important cultural features of the site, and it was recommended to keep as many as possible. One was cored and found to be close to 75 years old. CVWMA staff conducted surveys within the project area to gather data about wildlife presence, absence, and distribution, especially with respect to reptiles. 5 species of reptiles are known to occur in the area. Common and western terrestrial garter snakes, western skinks, northern alligator lizards, and rubber boa. Surveys were conducted every 10 to 15 days from late April to early October, and the first survey was conducted with help from Selkirk College students in the Recreation Fish and Wildlife program on April 24th. Overall, western skinks were detected 19 times, northern alligator lizards 13 times, rubber boas 11 times, and western terrestrial garter snakes 3 times. No common garter snakes were detected in the project area, and incidental observation of a single Pacific chorus frog and 2 long-toed salamanders were made on April 24th. Other significant findings were the discovery of 2 common nighthawk's nests containing 1 and 2 eggs, respectively, on June 14th and 20th. Using the data collected, CVWMA staff flagged wildlife habitat or reptile patches to be excluded from the brushing and thinning work. 14 patches ranging in size from 30 to 710 square meters were laid out for a total of 5,075 square meters. Bootleg Contracting Outdoor Services provided a crew of 2 to 4 workers that began the project in mid-December 2024 and completed the work in early March 2025. Using chainsaws and brush saws, the crew brushed thick patches of shrubs throughout the project area, removed coniferous tree saplings, and limbed all tree branches 1.5 to 2 meters from the ground. Branches, small trees, and brushing debris were piled for burning. Close to 30 piles, approximately 2 square meters in size, were burnt one day when the venting index permitted, but many more piles remain and will need to be burnt next winter. The remaining pile that contained a lot of green woody vegetation should burn better after a season of drying on the ground. The limbing and thinning should help a ground wildfire go through the area with lower intensity and without transferring up to the tree canopy. The limbing will also improve sightlines throughout the project area and should benefit ungulate like white-tailed deer and elk. Common nighthawks are reported to prefer more open habitat over forested areas for nesting and perching and should also benefit from the work. Finally, though the relationship between habitat use and forest cover is complex for many species of reptiles, western skinks and rubber boas should benefit from the treatment through an increased diversity of microhabitats and microclimates that may improve movements, foraging opportunities, and other important portions of their life cycle. Due to the density of shrub growth and amount of limbing to complete, brushing and thinning was slower than expected, and it wasn't feasible to treat 10 hectares as projected when the project was conceived. Close to 5 hectares were treated, and we are hopeful that we will be able to complete the full extent of the treatment in the next fiscal year. We would like to thank Environment and Climate Change Canada for the funding provided through the Kootenay Connect project, managed by the Kootenay Conservation Program staff, and the various contractors that made the project happen. as well as the instructors and students from the Recreation Fish and Wildlife program at Selkirk College, who lent a hand and helped us get the reptile surveys started in the spring.